Everyone, you're going to have an amazing time for next few minutes, and my main purpose is to create an enthusiasm and create that energy and create that sense of purpose to do something. So first of all, let me ask you a question, and I would like to see an answer into the chat. What do you think? Can India become self independent? How many of you think that? I want to see into the chat. What do you think? Can India become self-independent? Whatever
People, you
comes.
have a Q&A session where you can write. I think chat option might not be visible to you. And
Okay.
Q&A, please write your views.
Okay, I'm saying Anshika is saying yes. What about others? Do you think that India can become a self-independent, self-sufficient? So yes, Sambhaji, Surashri Day, Jatin. Yes, without it. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yes, India can become the self-sufficient. And there is every reason we are already on the path. Uh, my mission is very straightforward. I want to help Indian manufacturers to become the best in its category. We have to take India as a number one nation in the world, none other than anything less than number one, right? And that's my mission, and that's why I am here. That's what I do. I help organizations, I help manufacturers, I help students, I help engineers to make sure to get to a stage where they can be absolutely fantastic and they can help the country to go forward. Next, uh, before I begin anything, I always pay tribute to my professor. His name is Professor Manoj Kumar Tiwari. He was the head of the department in mechanical engineering in IIT Kharagpur. Now he is the director of NITI, and he was the one who basically helped me to grow. And like me, many hundreds of students. And he always used to mention, वो हमेशा मेंशन करते थे. इनफैक्ट इन हिज ईमेल सिग्नेचर देयर वाज अ तुलसीदास चौपाई, परहित बस जिनके मन माही तनिको जगत दुर्लभ कछु नाही. Means who keeps others interest in his mind, nobody can do any harm to him. And that's something which has always stuck with me. That is my value system, and that I imagine all of you can relate to as well. If you do good to others, nobody can do any harm, and that's essentially what it is. So I think with that, I want to start my session and start talking about things. So what do you think? Another Q and you can write into the Q&A. Who do you think will shape the future of India? Whatever comes to your mind, type into the Q&A chat. Q&A. Who do you think will shape the future of India? Who do you think, as per you, will shape the future of India? Of course, us. Can you be a bit more specific? Who would be shaping the future of India? So if you look at, uh, is ingenious like yourself, like me, like everyone in this call, Rama, Trapti, Soumya, Deepu, Nimesh, Nazin, Nisalia. I think all of you are the one who is going to change the future of the country. And if you look at historically as well, if you look at all the historical milestones where where things have changed, it has always been ingenious. अगर आपको याद होगा, तो the last thing that changed the shape the world, you could say internet, that was also ingenious. If you could remember, go a little bit back, you would say uh, steam engine changed the world, that was also done by ingenious. If you go a little bit back, if you talk about industrial revolution that came in 16th century, that was also done by engineers. So engineers are the one who has always shaped the future of this world, and engineers of this country will shape the future of what's coming tomorrow. So that's why I have a strong belief, all of you who are into this call, you have an opportunity to do something remarkably different, which will change not only your future, your family's future, your society future, your state's future, our country India's future. So that's the power, and that's what I believe, and I'm sure like that's what all of you believe. uh, I don't know how many of you would aware. मुझे लगता है आप लोगों को पता होगा. I think all of you would be knowing that there's something incredibly happened 23 years ago, which changed the India's fortunes forever. 23 years ago, something incredibly happened. Some कुछ ऐसा हुआ जिससे इंडिया का फ्यूचर ही चेंज हो गया हमेशा के लिए. Can you tell me what was that? In Q&A, can you tell me what can you remember? Uh, what has what has changed India's future? Which something happened in 2000, 23 years ago? Something happened. कंप्यूटर्स अगर आपको याद होगा तो चार्ल्स बॉबेज ने 1960s की वो प्रोडक्ट है. Something happened particularly in India which really changed the future of Indian middle class, I would say. Can you recollect anything? I'm sure you all are very young enough not to remember, but something which you may have heard. आपको कुछ याद आ रहा है या आपने किसी से सुना होगा? Anyone? Any random guess? Any wild guess? Okay. Let me tell you, and it's very important for you to know. Uh, you may have heard Y2K problem. How many of you have heard Y2K problem? How many of you heard about Y2K? Just type yes. Just type I. How many of you heard? So, what happened? Let me tell you. At the turn of this सेंचुरी, सो जब 1999 से जब 2000 जब चेंज हो रहा था, बिकॉज देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ सिस्टम्स दैट हैड टू बी चेंज. बिकॉज इमेजिन उस समय के सिस्टम्स वेर नॉट डेवलप्ड enough to deal with these zeros at that time. So there was a big problem, and this was known as a Y2K bug. If you can go back and maybe in the spare time you can Google it. Y2K issue. And essentially, this changed India. Why this changed India? Because this required a massive effort. This required a massive effort to solve this. Nearly $600 billion were spent, and they needed engineers and engineers and engineers. And that's where, because if you could remember, that was a time where India was a factory of producing engineers, especially in software field. So India provided a lot of engineers at that time who were all put into this task of Y2K problem solving, and that started the era of Indian software services. A lot of big companies, if you look at Infosys, Tech Mahindra, Wipro, Cognizant, many सॉफ्टवेयर में जो revolution आया सॉफ्टवेयर सर्विसेज में, that was a tipping point and that change. उसके बाद आप लोगों ने, कितने लोगों ने सुना होगा many people went abroad. उससे पहले कहाँ लोग जाते थे? If you go back, talk to your parents, talk to your brothers and sisters, ask them how many people used to go abroad in late 90s or say late 80s. Very few. But because of this Y2K, that necessitated a need of engineers to solve that problem. That basically made a whole world aware of the Indian software engineer prowess कि हमारे पास कितने कितने काबिल, कितने होनहार इंजीनियर्स हैं सॉफ्टवेयर में. And that really opened up, and that it was, and because of that the whole revolution came in India. And उसके बाद देखिए Indian middle class grew, I think, more richer and everything, whatever we see today. So that was a significant milestone. That really changed. Now, if you look at, आप में से बहुतों को demonetization तो याद होगा, जो हमारे our lovely and honorable Prime Minister Modi has brought. How many of you remember demonetization? How many of you remember? जो 2016 में आया था. So that was another remarkable change. Another remarkable. And let me tell you, my friend, लोग बोलते हैं ना कि बिजली बार बार नहीं चमकती है. I think इंडिया में ये दोबारा चमकी. Something drastically happened, and India adapted. Why India adapted? Because India adapted a digital economy. Again, a big change. Again, a massive change. I will tell you, my friends, मेरे दोस्तों, my ladies and gentlemen, कि India is by far ahead than many countries in the digital payment system. अभी भी बहुत सारे डेवलप्ड इकोनॉमीज हैव नॉट. आप सोचिए ना, आपके वॉलेट में आप वॉलेट निकाल के देखो, कितनों के पास कैश है. मेरे पास तो है ही नहीं आज के दिन में. आपके पास कैश है क्या आज के दिन में? पूरा चेंज हो गया. आई थिंक डिड, एंड दैट वाज आल्सो why was that possible? Again engineering, again digital economy, and that was made possible. It's a remarkable thing. So India has always been forefront of bringing revolutionized changes. Okay, so that is, can I am very proud Indian. Can I want to see into the chat box how proud you feel? Just type proud. Proud. I want to see into the Q&A poll. I want to see how much proud you are to be in India and to be an engineer in India and to have an opportunity to change. I just want, if you feel proud, just type proud into the chat box or maybe Q&A. I want to see that. How feel, how many feel proud? Wow, fantastic, fantastic to see that. Fantastic. So uh, if you look at again, now think about what is changing. So we had that soft big change in software. We had a big change in the digital payment system. And what is happening now? What is happening now? As you'd have seen, कि COVID के बाद a lot of supply chains are changing. Newer supply chains are emerging, right? COVID के बाद, after this COVID, the whole paradigm has been shift. आप आजकल न्यूज़ देखते होगे, या you must have heard that a lot of new sectors are opening in India. आपने सुना होगा, you must have heard that a lot of companies are getting into electronics goods manufacturing, contract manufacturing, into medical manufacturing, aerospace manufacturing, semiconductor. I, after COVID, and with the efforts of our uh, honorable Prime Minister, and and from the efforts of many people in the country, the Make in India movement is really making a change. So something what happened like in the case of 2000 as a software change, something which happened in the 5 years, 6, 7 years ago into digital payment. Similarly, a revolution is coming in manufacturing. Now I think manufacturing is a big push is coming. And if you look at, manufacturing is driven by change in automation, and that's what the importance. आज के दिन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में बड़ा चेंज आ रहा है. और आपको मैं एक और चीज बता दूं. आई वांट टू टेल यू वन more thing, that whoever has been the number one superpower in the world has been the biggest manufacturer in the world as well. अगर मैं आपको एक स्टैट दिखाऊं, मैं आपको अगर एक स्टैट दिखाता हूं, I think I don't have here, but I wanted to show you that in two in 1970, when America was the number one superpower, at that time in their GDP, 35 to 40% contribution was from manufacturing. In last decade, when you could say that China has started to emerge as a challenger to America's status quo as a number one superpower, China के जीडीपी में तो 50 से 60% मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का कंट्रीब्यूशन था. 50 to 60%. Even now that is around, if I'm not wrong, around 40%. India right now, the contribution of manufacturing in its GDP is around 16 to 18%, but we are on the path to increase it. And India in next 10 years would have its contribution in its GDP around 25 to 30%. And that is why I have a belief, like many of you, that India will become superpower. India will become number one country in the world. India will be the number one country in the world. And this is primarily because of मैन्युफैक्चरिंग. अब क्वेश्चन ये है कि जब मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जब आगे बढ़ने वाला, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग विल गो टू द नेक्स्ट लेवल. व्हाट विल ड्राइव मैन्युफैक्चरिंग? मैन्युफैक्चरिंग को, अच्छा, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में ग्रोथ के लिए दो इंपॉर्टेंट लीवर क्या है? व्हाट आर द टू इंपॉर्टेंट लीवर्स टू ग्रो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग? बताइए. आई वांट टू सी इनटू द चैट बॉक्स, इनटू Q&A. व्हाट आर द टू इंपॉर्टेंट लीवर्स? What are the two important factors? What are going to be the two important reasons to fuel the growth of manufacturing in which all of you are there? वो दो इंपॉर्टेंट चीज क्या है? वो दो चीज क्या है जो सब वो दो चीजें क्या है जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग को इंडिया का नंबर वन बना देगी और जिसके चलते इंडिया नंबर वन सुपर पावर हो जाएगा? वो दो चीजें क्या है? थिंक अबाउट वट एवर कम्स टू योर माइंड, डोंट वरी वेदर इट इज राइट और रॉन्ग, क्या आता है आपके दिमाग में? वो दो चीजें क्या है? वॉट आर दोज टू थिंग्स? वॉट कैन यू थिंक ऑफ? वॉट कैन यू थिंक ऑफ? एनीथिंग? वो दो चीजें क्या है? वॉट आर दोज टू थिंग्स दैट विल ब्रिंग अ रेवोल्यूशनरी चेंज इन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग? Think about it. मैं आंसर दूंगा, but I want you to think. I want you to think so that it can stick to your mind. Any guesses? Any random guesses? वो दो चीजें क्या है? What will shape? What will bring revolution in manufacturing in India? Which is very important for us to become number one in the world. What are those two things? एक तो इस सेमिनार, इस वेबिनार के टॉपिक से ही रिलेटेड है. There is a clue there. There is a clue there. वो दो चीजें क्या है? What are those two things? So let me tell you. The two things are very simple: technology and automation. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का जो ग्रो जाने वाला है, इसमें दो चीजें का, two things going to play a major role. One is technology and automation. I want all of you to write into this chat box technology and automation so that you can remember it. I want that to get imprinted in your mind. The technology and automation. I want you to write into the chat box, into the into say Q&A section. Write technology and automation, because that is what is going to change. I want to see that. Technology, yeah, technology and automation. Technology and automation. That is going to change this world. All right? That is why this session is very important. Automation. And out of these two things, I'm going to talk about automation today. Okay, so automation is very crucial. If we have, it's not the case of we, for us to become number one in the world, manufacturing is going to play the major role. For manufacturing to be the number one in the world, automation and technology has to play a major role. Now my question is to all of you, what do you think is automation? क्या आप डिफाइन कर सकते हो ऑटोमेशन को? वेरी सिंपल. देखिए, मैं बहुत ही सिंपल सिंपल बातें बात करता हूँ. वी आई वांट टू मेक थिंग्स वेरी सिंपल, बिकॉज चीजें सिंपल ही होती है. वी जस्ट हैव टू लुक इन फ्रॉम दैट लेंस, उस पर्सपेक्टिव से. व्हाट इज ऑटोमेशन? एनीथिंग. व्हाट डू यू थिंक इज ऑटोमेशन? क्या होता है? क्या है ऑटोमेशन? व्हाट इज ऑटोमेशन? Computer aided, automating repetitive task. All right, Gaurav. What about others? What do you think? The creation and application of technology to produce and deliver goods and services with minimal. Okay. Bang on, Jatin. Bang on. Bang on. Yes. What is automation? अगर मुझे automation को define करना हो, if I have to define automation, if I have to define it in a very simple word, automation simply is performing tasks or processes without any human intervention. राइट. जहां आदमी ना लगे, आप हो या ना हो, वो काम चल रहा है. मतलब आपको वहां रहने की जरूरत नहीं है. whether you are there or you are not there, the work is, the task is happening, the process is performing. That is automation. Okay, there are forms of automation where everything is completely automated, and there are forms of automation where there are some degrees of automation. Now, अब इसको और आसान से समझते हैं. Let's try to understand it even more simpler way. What are the types of अच्छा, आप अपने before I go to the types, can you give 3 examples of automation that you have seen? All of you. I want to see everyone participating in this. I want you to write into the Q&A where you can, 3 examples of automation that you see around yourself. And I'm waiting for your answers. I'll only proceed once I see your answers. Yes, a lot of you got it right. So, examples of robotics, washing machine, good. Alexa, good. Smartphone, good. Ayushi, good. Divyanshu, good. Raghav, chatbot. What else? Artificial intelligence, good. Surashri, self-driven car, good. Robotics, Tesla. Yes, Tesla is the name of company, but they're making car is a machine. Car is an automation, right? सोचिए ना, अब आपको सोचिए 50 किलोमीटर अगर आपको पैदल चलना पड़ता तो कितने घंटे लगते, और एक गाड़ी में बैठ के जाते तो कितने घंटे लगते हैं। सिंपल सी चीजें, तो वो भी ऑटोमेशन ही है। चैट जीपीटी, एआई, किचन टू, वाओ, फैंटास्टिक। सो आई थिंक यू ऑल हैव सीन, थैंक यू वेरी मच। आई मस्ट से थैंक यू टू एवरीवन, you're participating in this very very well, thank you. So in a very simpler way, all of you know various forms of automation, right? So मैंने इसको थोड़ा डिफाइन करने की कोशिश की थी कि what are the different types of automation. So as a broad, there's 7 types of automation. Okay. Number one is the industrial automation, and I'll talk about each one of those as well to help you understand. So industrial automation, robotics, processes automation, artificial intelligence is a form of automation, business process automation, home automation, process control automation, and test automation. So these are 7 different types of automation. Now, if I talk about what is industrial automation, so industrial automation includes like various forms of machines and plants. Those are there to improve the output of industrials. So आप ज्यादा कार बनाओ, you make more cars, more bikes, more things, more material, more components. Those are the industrial automation. A robotic processes automation. So all those robots or cobots which are making things more automated, where machine is doing the job. So I think that is a kind of robotic process automation. Artificial intelligence, so a lot of you gave an example of Alexa, Google, Chat GPT. A number of artificial intelligence means what? They're a kind of programs, right? They're kind of programs which which without the without the intervention, without the help of a human is giving answer to what you're asking, or without help of a human is performing task that you want them to do. एक और चीज मैं बता देता हूँ, and I know a lot of you already have been talking about it, कि यार artificial intelligence आएगा तो क्या job चले जाएंगे? Okay, let me ask you this question. Do you will artificial intelligence have an impact on jobs? Yes or no? Just type into the chat box. आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस से जॉब पे तो आयुषी ने बोला नो, मयंक ने बोला नो, Prasidhi ne bola no. What about others? Do you think it will have an impact on the jobs? Okay, it is for good or bad. Let me ask you this question as well. Is artificial intelligence for good or bad? बचपन में सुनते होगे ना कि जब आप लोग डिबेट देते होंगे तो विज्ञान अभिशाप है या वरदान है, इसमें कितने आप लोगों ने डिबेट में पार्टिसिपेट किए होंगे। तो मैं आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछता, इज आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस गुड और बैड फॉर अस? व्हाट डू यू थिंक? व्हाट डू यू थिंक? टाइप इनटू द चैट बॉक्स, व्हाट डू यू थिंक, गुड और बैड? So my friend, let me answer both of these. Artificial intelligence is not going to impact on jobs in a negative way. जॉब कम नहीं होने वाली है, जॉब रिप्लेस नहीं होने वाली है, जॉब्स चेंज हो जाएंगी। देखिए, जो चीज के लिए जिस तरह के जॉब्स आज के दिन है, द टाइप ऑफ जॉब्स दोज एग्जिस्ट टुडे, the nature of the jobs that those exist today will be different in say 5 years time, 10 years time, 15 years time, for sure, right? You will not have someone doing the same repetitive task, but you will have a different type of job, different form of job, because always remember, these artificial models are not controlled by artificial intelligence itself, but they are developed and they are monitored and they are controlled by people like us. People like us means human beings, right? So there will be the different forms of job. So yes, jobs पे impact होगा, मगर पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट होगा। और आप आर्टिफिशियल को चाहे गुड बोलो चाहे बैड बोले, ये इट हैज कम, इट विल एग्जिस्ट, इट विल बी, इट विल रिमेन इन द फ्यूचर. So I think let's embrace it. Let's look at it from more positive way कि how can we leverage it. मेरी बेटी है छोटी सी, आई थिंक शी इज 10 years old, सनाया इज हर नेम. I always encourage her, जैसे चैट जीपीटी, I encourage her to use chat gpt to become more productive in her studies as well. राइट, देर इज नो पॉइंट, अरे नहीं नहीं उसमें मत पूछो, उसको मत यूज करे. नो, यू शुड लीवरेज टेक्नोलॉजी. इफ द टेक्नोलॉजी इज देयर, you should try to use it to become more, to increase the productivity, to become more productive in what you do. You can save time, you can save lots of time, you can reduce the requirement of some of the manpower that you need. So then you can leverage that to do something else. You can leverage your time to do something else. You can leverage the free up capacity that you have, जो आपने मैन पावर के जो टाइम्स बताए, जो आपने बचाए, उसको कहीं और यूज कर सकते हैं. राइट, so always leverage. Number 4 type of automation is a business process automation. So b which is also, which has been there for last 10 years. A lot of business processes, those were very manual, now they are becoming very automated. So examples like ERP, CRM, a lot of different. अभी जो आप और हम जो बात भी कर रहे हैं, it is only possible because of automation. This webinar is being conducted on a Joho platform, that is a form of business process automation, right? Otherwise इस चीज के लिए, for this we have to be in a physical setting, कोई होटल के रूम में, या आपके कॉलेज में कहीं पे रहना पड़ता है. But look at the automation that is done. Look at the power of the automation. So then the next is home automation. You like examples of Alexa, and I think there is also product from Google. There are a lot of sensors being used for, I think, for number of purposes, right from entering into the house to powering up some of your kitchen appliances, to some of the electrical appliances. There's a whole suite of home automation. Then you have process control automation, which is basically in chemical plants, power plants, where the performance of those things are being tracked and monitored using automated tools. And then there's a test automation. आप देखते होंगे कि जो सॉफ्टवेयर इंडस्ट्रीज में, या wherever you develop a lot of products, there's a requirement to test that. अब सोचिए, अगर कोई आपने एक प्रोडक्ट बनाया, उसके करीब एक प्रोडक्ट के thousands of use cases हो सकते हैं, right? There can be thousands of scenarios in which that product can be used. Now imagine if the testing of each scenario has to be done by human. So in order to launch a product, it will take it will and launch a product so that it doesn't fail, it will take years and years. Imagine आप कुछ नया एरोप्लेन ला रहे हो, या नया इंजन ला रहे हो एरोप्लेन के लिए, या आपका डिफेंस के लिए. Imagine if this is all manual. To introduce one, you may have to wait for years and years. Can you afford that? You cannot afford that. So that's where the test automation comes. So there are basically these are the 7 forms of automation that they exist. All right, did you guys get it? Just type got it into the chat box or say Q&A. I just want to see if you have got it, then I'll proceed. So अभी तक हम लोगों ने बात किया, क्या क्या हम लोगों ने बात किया अभी तक. Okay, can somebody recap a very quick summary what we have discussed, and then I'll progress uh, to the next slide, or to the next topic. What have we discussed so far? Just 2 or 3 sentences, a summary. What have we discussed so far into this? So anybody want to just summarize? I'll wait for a few seconds before I move forward. What do you think? What do you think we have discussed? Just 1 or 2 or 3 sentences of summary. So we started by saying that it is us, ingenious, who will change India, who will change this world. Then we talked about India is going to become the number one superpower in the world, leaving behind China and USA. Then we looked into what has been significant milestones in India in last 20 years. So one was software in early 2000, or say 2000, which changed the fortunes of the middle class in the India. Then this digital revolution which came because of the demonetization. So these were the two powerful events. Now the third event is happening, is manufacturing revolution. And the two levers for manufacturing revolution, one is the technology, another one is the automation. Then we looked into what is automation. Automation is performing tasks without any human इंटरवेंशन, आदमी के बगैर टास्क को परफॉर्म करना. फिर हम लोगों ने देखा कि ऑल आप लोगों ने सब ने ऑल ऑफ यू गिव एन एग्जांपल ऑफ various examples of automation. Then we looked into the 7 different types of automation. Okay, that is what we have done so far. Now moving forward, okay, so मैं आपको एक सिनारियो देता हूं, मैं आपको एक केस स्टडी देता हूं. So there is this company X. Okay, I'm not taking any particular company name here, but there is a company X, and that's making say 10,000 bikes every month. All right, 10,000 बाइक ये बना रही है every month. उनके पास 50 मशीनें हैं. They have got 50 machines. Now, this company wants to double its production. अब वो from 10,000 bikes, now they want to make 20,000 bikes per month. Now you tell me what he will do. वो कैसे बनाएंगी? अब उनको 10,000 बाइक से 20,000 बाइक्स बनाने पे जाना है. Whatever wacky ideas, whatever ideas, be it very weird, you may seem like, throw into the Q&A section. मैं देखना चाहता हूं कि आपको क्या लगता है, क्या करने पे जो 10,000 बाइक जो कंपनी बना रही थी, वो 20,000 बाइक बनाएगी. 10,000 से 20,000 बाइक बनाने के लिए कंपनी को क्या करना पड़ेगा? आई जस्ट वॉन्ट टू सी इन टू द चैट बॉक्स. वॉट 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 what one more production line, increase the manufacturing capacity, either automate or hire people. Okay, good. I am quite happy that आपकी आप ब्रेन को उस रास्ते में आप दौड़ा रहे हो. What all, what are the, और भी सोचिए जो भी आपके दिमाग में आ रहा है. There is no right or wrong answer. कोई आंसर यहाँ wrong नहीं है, जो भी आ रहा है दिमाग में. So either automate or hire people, increase the manufacturing capacity, one more production line. I'm just reading some of your responses. What you have sent. Outsource the extra production, more machines, improve the efficiency of the machine, implementing robotic automation, increasing machinery, increase work time, can distribute the task in smaller tasks, expand the business. Wow, wow, wow! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Very good. I'm quite happy to see a mixed variety of answers. So now let's pay attention here. Let's focus. So 10,000 बाइक से 20,000 बाइक्स बनानी है. एक तो सिंपल सी चीज है कि आप बोलो 50 मशीनें बना रही, 50 मशीन बनाते हैं, 500 लोग बनाते हैं, तो 50 मशीन के बदले 100 मशीन कर दो, 500 आदमी के बदले 1,000 आदमी कर दो, तो दुगुना बना लेंगे. एक आंसर ये हो सकता है. मगर मगर if you do that, if you just double up the number of machines, if you just double up the number of workforce, first of all, you may make 20,000 bikes, but would you be able to make money? You're trying to make 20,000 bikes for two things: to satisfy the increased demand, and as well as to make more money. आप business expand क्यों करते हो? So that you can make more money, right? So you tell me, if you just develop the machines, if you just develop the workforce, can you make more money? No, you cannot make more money, right? Franchisee, that's okay, good. I think वो सब अच्छे अच्छे ideas है. Outsource, I don't want to go into those details. There are various things. I can talk about that sometime later. But in a very simplistic manner, just by doubling everything what they have got, it is not a solution. तो सोल्यूशन क्या है? आप में से बहुतों लोगों ने लिखा कि दे द सॉल्यूशंस आर अगेन टू थिंग, टेक्नोलॉजी और ऑटोमेशन इज सोल्यूशन. सो लेट्स से कि ऑटोमेट करना है. ओके, सो लेट्स से कि ऑटोमेट करना है, तो व्हाट, एक तो आप सोचिए, अब यही 50 मशीन्स से 10,000 बाइक्स बनती है. नाउ इमेजिन दे फाइंड आउट अ मेथड, or they work out through various forms of automation कि with these 50 machines, those are producing 10,000 bikes, or maybe let's say 300 400 people who are working working there by only making an incremental change. So from 50 machines to say 60 machines, or say 65 machine, or may not be that much addition in manpower. Let's say from 300 people to, let's say, only 50 people more, 3 into 50, they start to make 10, 20,000 bikes. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, इज दिस पॉसिबल? क्या ये पॉसिबल लगता है आपको? पहले मैं इस जानना चाहता हूं, क्या ये पॉसिबल है? यस और नो, आई वांट टू, यस और नो, पॉसिबल है क्या? पहले कि आप केवल 10 ही मशीन ऐड करो, आप केवल 20% ही मशीन ऐड करो, 20% मशीन ऐड करके 100% प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाने की बात कर रहा हूं मैं, 25% मशीन ऐड करके 100% बढ़ाने की बात कर रहा हूं। वर्कफोर्स तो केवल मैं बोलता हूं कि 10% ही ऐड करो, 15% ही ऐड करो। क्या ये पॉसिबल है? यस, इट इज पॉसिबल। अच्छा, अब सोचिए, अगर ये पॉसिबल है तो किस किस चीजों को ऑटोमेट करना पड़ेगा? व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दैट वुड रिक्वायर ऑटोमेशन? What do you think? Just type into the this Q&A section or chat box. What are the things that will require the automation? What are those things जो आपको लगता है ऑटोमेट करना पड़ेगा? पॉसिबल है? टाइम सेव कर सकते हैं, या अगर एनर्जी सेव कर सकते हैं तो इससे पॉसिबल है। तो ये सेव करने के लिए आपको क्या क्या आप ऑटोमेट करोगे तो पॉसिबल है। जो टास्क के लिए ज्यादा लोग लग रहे हैं, जो टास्क के लिए ज्यादा मशीनें लग रही है, जहां भी मैनुअल पार्ट्स ऑफ प्रोसेस, उसको अगर ऑटोमेट करोगे तो कहाँ कहाँ ऑटोमेट कर सकते हो? मशीनरी, गुड। रिपीटिंग टास्क, ओके, वेरी गुड। सो यू ऑल आर वेरी स्मार्ट। सो मैंने भी वही आंसर लिखा था कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल की कंपोनेंट्स क्या होंगे, एक बाइक के कंपोनेंट्स क्या क्या होते हैं? क्रैंक केस, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इंजन, ब्लॉक, कनेक्टिंग रॉड्स, various components, right? So these agar these have to be produced somehow. So if I look at, there are three areas where automation can happen. uh, Machining area में, okay, इंस्पेक्शन एरिया में, एंड मेजरमेंट के एरिया में, राइट? ये तीन जगह हम बहुत सारे जो अभी भी जो मैनुअल टास्क है, अ लॉट ऑफ टास्क व्हिच वुड बी मैनुअल, वी कुड ऑटोमेट देम, राइट? ओके, गॉट इट? जस्ट टाइप गॉट इट इनटू द चैट बॉक्स और से Q&A, जस्ट टाइप गॉट इट इनटू द Q&A, राइट? राइट, जस्ट नाउ, अब आपको मैं एक एग्जांपल दूंगा। जैसे कि मैंने पहले मेजरमेंट बोला है, तो आप whenever you go to any shop floor, whenever, let's say, if you visit a company, you will see, let's say, if I'm making this, let's say, one type of hole. So if you look at this into the, if you go, अगर आप जाते हो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग शॉप फ्लोर में, there are lots of people there using lots of instrument to check कि ये सही बना है कि नहीं बना है। इसमें इसमें आप जाके देखोगे तो बहुत सारे डिफरेंट लोगों, there are lot of manpower that goes into checking whether what they are making is right or wrong, and various small piece of equipment. So if you can reduce the number of people that is required to check those parts, if you can reduce the number of machines, if you can reduce the number of machines that is needed to check, you can bring a lot of efficiency and you could bring a lot of accuracy as well. क्योंकि जब आदमी आता है तो केवल टाइम ही पे इम्पैक्ट नहीं होता है, उससे प्रिसीजन एंड एक्यूरेसी से भी इम्पैक्ट होता है। तो there's something called gauging. We as manufacturer, like Renishaw is a British company who makes basically, Renishaw means measurement. So in the world, we do everything that is needed in the field of, in the field of measurement, and whatever we do, we help companies to make more parts, make better parts, and automate. So one of the solution that we have got, that is called equator, जो आपको भी सामने दिख रहा है, और ये शॉप फ्लोर पे यूज होता है। ये शॉप फ्लोर में यूज होता है, कैसे यूज होता है? दिस मशीन can automatically check whether you have made something is right or wrong. आपको मैं एक एग्जांपल दिखाता हूं, हो सके तो this video will show you. In this video you will see that how a part जो कि जो एक जैसे जैसे एक रोबोट है, तो पहले उस रोबोट को उसके साथ, तो आपने उस कंपोनेंट को पहले रोबोट ने उठाया, राइट? रोबोट ने उस कंपोनेंट को उठाने के बाद उस मशीन पे रखा, और ये मशीन जो है ये ऑटोमेटिकली उसको चेक करके बताता है कि ये आपका सही पार्ट है कि नहीं। अगर वो पार्ट सही नहीं है तो ऑटोमेटिकली उसको फेल के एरिया में रख देता है, और सही और पास है तो पास के एरिया में रख देता है। सो दिस इज a very simple form of automation. So using this kind of machine, using this equator machine, आप एक तरह से मेजरमेंट को पूरा ऑटोमेट कर देते हो, राइट। सिमिलरली इफ यू लुक एट, अब आप सोच, एक और चीज होती है, ये तो मेजरमेंट हो गया, there's something called inspection. And now all my fellow engineers who are there, there's a difference in inspection and verification. अभी जो मैंने बात की वो आपको मैंने बात की थी वेरिफिकेशन की, मेजरमेंट की, जब आपने कुछ बनाया। इंस्पेक्शन जब आपने फाइनल, जब आप बना लेते हो तो उसको फाइनली देखना है कि आपने सही बनाया कि नहीं। तो इसको व्हेन यू हैव टू चेक फाइनली, once you have completely made it after all the various processes, then you inspect, and that inspection is done in a very controlled environment. उसका एक अलग environment होता है, एकदम एक एसी रूम रहता है, वहां पे एक मशीन होती है जिस मशीन का नाम होता है सीएमएम मशीन। उस मशीन पे उस कंपोनेंट को ले जा करके आप उसको इंस्पेक्ट करते हो। अब आप उसमें भी ऑटोमेशन कर सकते हो, यू कैन इवन ऑटोमेट ओवर देयर। सो फॉर एग्जांपल देयर इज अ टेक्नोलॉजी दैट देयर इज अ टेक, अब जैसे आप लोगों ने देखा होगा ना कि वर्नियर कैलिपर से कैसे गेजेस, एंड नाउ दिस सीएमएम यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट। सो आई विल शो यू अ वीडियो जहां पे कि इंस्पेक्शन को भी आप ऑटोमेट कर रहे हो। कि जो सोचे, अभी हम बात क्या कर रहे हैं, 10,000 बाइक से 20,000 बाइक बनाने के लिए। अब 10,000 बाइक के लिए मान लीजिए उसमें हर बाइक में करीब 10 कंपोनेंट होंगे क्रिटिकल। अगर 10 कंपोनेंट होंगे, अगर 1 लाख पार्ट में से अगर मान लीजिए 1,000 पार्ट की इंस्पेक्शन करने के लिए 2 मशीनें लगती होंगे, तो क्या आपको लगता है कि जब दुगुना करेंगे तो क्या 4 मशीनें करनी होगी? नहीं बाबा, नहीं, नो 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 नो, you just need 2 machines or maybe one more machine. But what you can do, you can do a automation here, you can bring here new technology which you are seeing in the right hand side. So with the new technology, the cmm, Renishaw is has brought a revolutionary technology in the cmm which automates the inspection process further. So further it is reducing the overall inspection time. आप देख रहे होगे इस
Uh,
एग्जाम्पल में कि, हाँ,
Sanjeev,
हेलो,
sorry to interrupt. Your screen has
इट्स ओके,
stopped.
ओके, इज इट ओके नाउ, screen, right? So what I was trying to show,
Uh,
that with the machine, yes, hello,
like, can you please share it again, sir?
okay, let me try to share it again, just a minute, for an example, windows, is this fine? Just a minute, is this okay?
No, I think. Trapti ma'am, are you able to see it? No, actually, it is just stopped in between. Actually, I don't want to interrupt. The flow was so good. This is-
That's
this
okay, that's
one-
okay. Can you see now, अभी आ रही है?
yeah. Yeah, sir. Yeah. Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for supporting this. So, I think what I was trying to say, ki rather than, for an example, let's say for 10,000 bikes, and every bike has a 10 critical components. So, for check, so out of 1 lakh component, let's say you had to check 10,000 components. And for 10,000 component, let's say you had 2 machines, right? Now, with the double in production, you will need to have 20,000 components that need to be inspected. So does it mean that you will need to have 2 more machines? No, you don't need to have 2 more machines. Maybe at max, what you could do, you can add 1 more machine, or maybe you change the technology that is on those 2 machines and bring more automation. And recently, Renishaw brought a product in CMM inspection, which we call 5 axis. So which improves the productivity by 300%. So these are certain examples that how can you automate various parts of your shop floor. So you can automate your verification, which is measurement on the shop floor, you can automate the inspection that happens, and you can also automate the machining. So let's say when a machining is happening, let's say if you have this raw material and you're cutting this onto a machine, so what you can do, अगर अभी आप देखें, if you look at right now, what happened, what is the process? uh, First thing is that if there's a raw material, The somebody will come and put the raw material there in the machine. Then they will align it, whether it is aligned properly or not. Then somebody will go and press the start button. Okay, machine is automatic, that the cutting tool will come and start to cut the metal and then produce. If you look at, if something is wrong, then somebody has to come and change the parameters, and again the machining has to start. So rather than that, look, there are certain area where still it is manual. Keep putting the part, aligning it manually, aligning it very very few, changing the program, a lot of time wastage in terms of the air cutting. So these all can be automated as well. So you can use a variety of sensors, and a lot of sensors are made by Renishaw as well, that goes on the machine, and many other companies as well. So you can use a variety of sensors on the machine that can give you feedback. Okay, whether this has been done, whether let's say this part is fitted correctly or not. If it is not, it can automatically adjust the parameter. So in a very simple way, that you will have control, automated control in the machine, that can ensure that whatever you get out of the machine is correct. So it can automatically check its position, its alignment. It can check the cutting tool that is required to cut the metal key. Is the cutting tool right or wrong? वो सही है कि नहीं, कि कहीं ब्लंट हो गया है. ब्लंट हो गया है तो ऑटोमेटिकली दूसरा टूल को ले आए. और जो भी, if something has gone wrong, automatically compensate. So if you can bring automation in this, so rather than the extra 50 100% machine, you may not need to go for another 50 machine. You can reduce the requirement by half or even more than the half. So these are the simpler way of automation that you can do. And for the same, for in the same company, from 10,000 to 20,000 bike, you may not have to go from 50 machine to 100 machine. You can go from 50 machine to, let's say, 60 machine, 65 machine, with few much addition in the workforce, and you can still make the double. So with that, I close my topic, right? I wanted to give you a glimpse of what is all possible. And ultimately, if I have to say, the benefits of automation is in three things: productivity, efficiency, and safety, which is so much crucial to a growth of a manufacturing sector. And with this, I have a confidence कि हमें मुझे 100% पता है, and I have a belief that all of you all will transform the manufacturing. You all will bring these latest technologies and the mindset of using the technology and mindset of using the automation, and you will take India to the next level. So thank you very much. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take it. But I am once again, I'd like to say thank you to all of you, and I feel really privileged that I got an opportunity to talk to you and talk to you on this important subject of automation. How crucial is it? Thank you. Thank you, Tripti. Thank you, Rama. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. So I extend my sincere thanks to you, sir, for conducting an engaging and enlightening webinar for our team and our interns. And your extensive knowledge in automation and his impressive background is your extensive knowledge in automation has helped us a lot in get into the depth of the automation. On behalf of our entire our entire team and our interns, I express our heartfelt appreciation to you, sir. Thank you
Thank
for this
you.
invaluable session. For your presence has been an honor, and we hope to have a privilege of learning from you again in the future.
Sure, sure. The pleasure is all mine. Thank you. And whatever it takes to take the country, the nation forward, I'm all for it. And I hope it was easy enough to understand. If you have ever any question, do not hesitate to come back to me.
Yeah,
Thank you very
sure.
much.
Surely,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Okay, let's connect back in our respective rooms. Thank you for joining interns. Okay, I'm ending the session. Thank you for joining.